Welcome students to this next lecture. In this lecture, as you can see, we will discuss formulation of an optimization problem. In the last lecture, that was the first lecture, you saw what optimization is, and we discussed a simple problem of insulation in which we have to find that optimal solution. So in that you noticed, you must have noticed that we did it theoretically. We didn't involve any mathematics in that, but further when you will go into this area, you will find that mathematics will become necessary, because problems will become little complex, and so it will be very necessary that you express those problems in mathematical expressions. So all these things are called, these activities are called formulation, and you have done in your earlier courses this kind of thing when you were calculating maxima, minima, etc. So there the problem was in theoretical way. For example, one problem you may remember that you had to find out kind of thing like this, that you have to make a box like this, and you've been given given some means this sheet out of which you are making this box, then you have to create kind of solution that it gives maximum volume. This kind of problem can be there, or it may be that a problem can be that you are, suppose you have to create a box of 500 centimeter cube. So in so many ways you can create this kind of box, like you can create someone, if you will give this problem to somebody, he may create a box like this. Somebody else would like to create a box like this, and all these boxes will have same volume. But you may notice that it may require more this metal sheet if you are making it out of metal, or it may require less metal sheet. So for that purpose you need to find out which volume, which design will need the minimum amount of sheet. In a way you are optimizing the price of this, cost of making of this box. So I am discussing this thing, that I am describing the problem in theoretical way. In language I am describing. Now what do you that you formulate the problem. This is called formulation. Formulate the optimization problem, and in which you convert it into mathematical expression, means mostly mathematical expression. Maybe in some other way also you can formulate, but mostly you convert it into mathematical expressions. And you are already aware of it, but actually you don't know these terms used in here. You were just solving the problem numerical, but here you are learning what terms are used for this. So this is called formulation of problem. Or for example, you can create a variable this, an x2 like this, an x3 like this. Then this can be one formulation, that 500, equation number 1. So this is called actually formulation, and after then you will have the surface area or area of the sheet you will have here, and then you can create a function out of it. So all these activities or steps come under the category of formulation. So here you can see that what we just discussed, you will have in your numerical problem an optimization problem, then you will formulate it. It will be given in theoretical way, in language way. Then you will have to formulate it, and this procedure will convert your problem into various mathematical expressions, or you can say equations and inequalities. So I hope the point is clear to you. So how you formulate your problem? Formulation involves means you think about the problem and then you actually organize the problem. Actually during this step, what you do, that you actually organize the problem. Organize means you structure it in some planned way so that it is easily understandable, or you can say you divide it into various parts and all those things. And so we come to the organization of the problem. This topic we will discuss now. So during formulation, what you are doing, actually you are organizing the problem. You are dividing it into manageable chunks so that you can handle the problem. So you can say that these steps can be divided into two parts. One part is you develop a model. Actually you develop a model of the problem. That is very important. You should understand the problem in a way that so that you can describe it, its model. Or for example, a process is there, some process is there, so you should know that how you will develop the model of it. So model representing the process, you should first develop the model, because in the first place, if you do not understand what the process is, how the process can be described into mathematical way, you cannot handle the problem now. So after this organization, what you do, that after you know the model, then what you do, that some kind of objective. What is your objective in the problem? Or your objective may be that profit of the process you want to increase, or maybe it may be that some kind of production of component that for example some concentration of product P you have to increase. So these are your objectives, and there can be many criteria of these objectives. So your task is to develop a suitable, to find a suitable objective criterion. This will guide your decision. This function will guide your, actually this is a function actually, and if you can come back to this actually this very simple problem that all of us are aware of this. So here what is this, that this is the model actually, this is the you can say that this is the model, and the surface area means nobody told us that you have to decide that surface area is to be minimized, but actually in the problem they told you that cost should be minimum. So now you during the formulation of the problem you have to decide that how you will bring the cost down, and you saw that cost will depend upon the sheet that you will use in this box. And sheet, how much sheet means what area of the sheet you are, means you from the market you bring sheets like this, from they are sold as area as the criteria. So you decided that you will optimize the area. So here it is your objective criteria or objective function you can say. So if you in a formal way, if you will read this, it is a suitable objective criterion that will guide your decision for optimization. So now we come to the categories of an optimization problem, means in how many parts you will divide the your mathematical expressions, mathematical equations, as you can see here that it has got two parts. So these are actually categories, and an organization you saw model and suitable objective criterion, and then now we are coming how many parts of the mathematical expression or equations will be there. So first is there must be at least one objective function to be optimized. So that is the basic thing actually why you are dealing with this problem, because you have to optimize the problem. For optimizing the problem you need to have optimization criterion. So it means that you must have an objective function like this. This was the objective function, this surface area. So here you can say that the first part of your optimization problem will be at least one. There can be many more objective functions, at least one objective function. So I am writing it in short, and that is to be optimized. And number two, as you can guess, that there can be constraints of your problem, like this is your constraint. You cannot, if this constraint is not there, then you can say that I will not create any box at all, and the cost will be the minimum, that is 0. So that is not the feasible thing. You must set some constraint. So constraints can be of two types: equality constraints. For example, in the last problem you decided the volume to be 500 centimeter cube, and it can be inequality constraints also. Like for example, you can decide here that you can say that volume should be less than 500 centimeter cube, but it must be more than 200 centimeter cube, like that. Means I am just giving some example, but so there are three categories. You will divide your optimization during the formulation. You will organize the problem in this way that you will divide it into three parts. So now we come to I would like to show these things in graphical form, because that will be very useful in the coming lectures and during the solvents when you will solve any problem. For example, here you can see an optimization problem, and I will plot it on this graph. Suppose this is variable x1 and this is variable x2. x1, x2 can be height, and you can relate it to that simple problem of box, height and width, etc. These two parameters suppose we have, and the objective function we will plot on here. So first we see what it means to be inequality criterion or constraints. So when you say that the function should come, the value should come for the positive values of x1, so it means you in a way you are saying that your solution should lie here in the positive here, even it can lie here. So I am saying that if I am drawing it like this, it means that I am saying that, for example, this will go like this. So I am saying that in this area, in the positive area of x1, your solution should lie. This is the constraint, and it is called inequality constraint. x1 should be greater than 0 for your solution. And after then, if suppose you say that your solution should be therefore greater than x2 for positive values of x2. So for example, in your that problem, height and width cannot be negative, so this is your constraint, inequality constraint for these variables. So your solution will lie here. Okay, Now another constants you can give, for example you can give constant like this, some constant like this, you can like this, maybe this equation can be, and you say that your solution should lie under this, it should be less than this. And one more constant can be, you can say that your solution should lie here. So you are getting this area now. You should solve your problem in such a way that the solution comes only in this area, and if solution comes suppose here, you will reject that, you will reject here also, you will reject the solution here also and here also. So these are actually inequality constants. And these are shown by this kind of hatching like this. So it means that this part the solution will be. So this is your one constant, 2, 3, 4. Now we come equality constant. It is shown like this. The line, this line, it is called actually equality constant. It is shown by a line. So what it means, that equality means your solution must fall on this line actually. So your solution can be here also, even here also, here also, it can be here also, here also. Naturally it will be here in infinite way your solution can lie. But if you will combine this with other constants of your problem, for example this constant, then it says that you have to reject these solutions, and this says that you have to reject these solutions. So what it means, that important thing is that you will select these actually only the solutions there are lying on this segment of the line only, because it is satisfying all the constants. If we suppose a point is here, P point is here, so it is satisfying this constants also, this constant, this constant, this constant and this constant, it is satisfying. So this way you need to get the solution. So this is called actually feasible solution. The name given to this is called feasible solution. It is not optimal solution actually, it is feasible solution. After you have done solution of your mathematical equations, then you got these solutions and you have rejected these solutions, and these solutions are called feasible solutions. Now comes, so if you will read in your book, you will find that a feasible solution means a set of variables. Usually this is a set of variables, this is all set of variables that satisfy category 2 and 3. This is a set of variables that will satisfy these two categories to the desired degree of precision. Precision you can decide that what precision you have to take, like for example it can be your precision, or this is actually 10 to the power minus 6 like this. Solution can be up to 3 places after decimal, can be your precision. So this is the definition of feasible solution, and after then comes optimal solution. This is the important thing. Optimal solution means this solution will be from the feasible solution, but it will optimize the value of this function. It will satisfy all these constants, but it will also optimize it will be the value will be such that it will optimize the objective function. So that is the optimal solution, and we are interested in this, and this is actually our object of your problem, of your optimization problem. We have to find, we are actually, all the things that we do is to find this solution, because it is satisfying your constraints, and also it is giving you the maximum or minimum value, or you can say optimal value of the objective function. Now I am coming to the notation used in the book for these categories, for this category. So mathematical way how these categories are defined in the book. This is the notation used there. The objective function will be defined as fx, and here you see that this is in bold, x is in bold letters. And equality constraints, the equation number 2, there can be many equations in this equation. Actually this is a vector, this is shown by bold actually, and this is equality, these are actually inequality constraint. So it can be less than sign also there, actually this is greater than, but actually it has been shown just notation. Actually it is not giving you the idea that means you can say that it is the general form of your constraint. And here the bold x letter has got n number of variables. So for example, height, depth of the box, if you are relating it to that simple example, so in that case your x will be only x1 and x2 like this. And constraint here in equality constraints, there are m number of equations. This is actually m number of equations can be here. It will have m number of equations. It can be 1 or it can be 2 like this. And in inequality constraint, there are m2 number of equations. So total equations you will get in m1 and n2. So these equations can only be 1 also, or it can be 2, or more complex problem it can be 100 also even. So for example, here m1 is your equality constraint. So this is your, here m1 is 1 in this problem, and inequality are 4, 1 2 3 4. So m2 are 4 here. So there are 5 equations, and variables are, if you are showing it in bold, x1 and x2, 2 variables are there. And function is, you can show it like this, bold letter, or you can show even like this also if you are having some confusion in that problem. So this way, this is your second introductory lecture, and this will create a good basis for the next classes. So thank you very much up to now.